I'd like to call on Group 3 to report out to the conference. And I'm going to remind you, we've got about 25 minutes left during this session. So I do ask that each reporter be brief in your comments and responding to these questions. So could I call on Group 3 to report?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am A.S.Dhavan from Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith, Parbhani, Maharashtra State. And I was fortunate to have a diverse members having different backgrounds, but from universities in India and abroad, and NGO as well. I was supported by Professor Timothy Murray from Washington State University, C. Vasudevappa, Vice-Chancellor from Simoga. Of course, Thomas Smith could not join, Sandhya Kode could not join for some other reason, but we were fortunate to have Paul Peterson, who is also chairing this session. Then the Nancy from M.S. Swaminathan Foundation, NGO, well-known NGO in India. Archana from Telangana State. Of course, we were very happy to have Dr. Shanti from TNA, whose contributions are really noteworthy. Then we also joined, this Dr. Prajapati and Dr. Acharya, although initially they were not listed in the group. As I said, ours was a very diverse group representing different backgrounds. Fortunately, my two predecessors, who have been very good train setters, so my job has become a little easy. Particularly, I appreciate the point of view presented by my friend, Dr. Surya Gunjal, whose group and our group share many common views on most of the questions. So, of course, I will not venture into answering question by question, but I will try to put forward a general consensus which is emerged out of our discussion from our group. And the consensus was that as far as the revenue generation is concerned, as has been said that in the bylaws, that the membership fee should be something about $5,000 per year or per annum, what we call. Our group thought it rather difficult, so we suggested a one-time contribution of $5,000 for an initial period of 5 years, and subsequently, by that time, the revenue generation will pick up as the user group will join using our material for this course curriculum delivery system. But before that, I would urge, across the consensus of our group, that ICRISAT could be requested to come forward for a massive funding support to have a built up an initial corpus fund to make this consortium work. Because this consortium is a non-profit organization purely working for scientific and educational purposes. So there are some inherent limitations in the initial stage. Fortunately, the National Agriculture Education Program is coming up, a World Bank funded project, a very ambitious project, and we can seek some funding support from that program to build up our initial corpus. That was the idea. And once our consortium starts generating the revenues from different user groups, it was a consensus that around 20% of the total revenue generated should be allowed to go for the consortium corpus, and rest 80% can be back recycled for those universities who are contributing for the content development, so as to have some incentive to them. That was the kind of consensus we arrived at. As far as the institutional concerns are concerned, I share the view of Dr. Surya Gunjal that our own institutions are governed by different regulatory bodies, what we call as an academic councils and executive councils. So we will have to convince them about the merit of joining the consortium. Once they are convinced, then it becomes rather easy for us to contribute for the consortiums to work in a right direction. That was our view. The other constraint is that already our 15 committees working on the restructuring of the course curriculum in all the SAUs in view of the recent challenges, and some of the portion have gone obsolete, and then so it will take another couple of years' time to come out with a new syllabus. And we are little apprehensive about the course content curriculum developed for this kind of consortium platform. How best we can supplement this course content. So we will have to be little at a slower pace in the beginning, so that by that time the 15 committee report will come into existence, start operating, and then we'll see how best we can integrate this course content and core delivery system and our regular course curriculum being imparted through SAUs. That's another constraint which, of course, the manpower is the biggest constraint in most of the universities. As far as my own university is concerned, we are running our university with 50% of the faculty members, technically trained staff, what we call. And I suppose, I believe that the situation in other SAUs is also not much different than what we are facing. So in the initial phase, of course, there are every efforts to enhance the process of recruitment, but rate of retirement and rate of recruitment doesn't keep pace with each other. That's a major constraint, and that will come in the way of course curriculum development at the institutional level. That is the difficulty. The other difficulty is that identifying the different user groups, because in a country like India, having a diverse cultural and linguistic background, we have to develop the course curriculum to be operated from the online sources, online platform. So each region has its own linguistic background, and all those regional language course curriculum development processes seems to be a little difficult and complex. So we have to seek solutions for these kind of constraints. Some of the issues yesterday I have raised about the as an extension work, course content development for the extension activity. And again, as a country like India, having diverse climatic, regional backgrounds, each region has a specific requirement for the extension literature. So there has to be a customized course curriculum development for the extension purpose. I am having little apprehension how best we can address this issue. Of course, as far as the utility is concerned, we have to join the consortium. There is no second thought about it. But thing is that how best we can integrate this mode of operation with the existing system of course curriculum delivery, and how best we can supplement and complement these issues. That is the question to be addressed. The rest of the questions I will not touch, because already Surya Gunjan and myself share a common theme. So I think my job has made little easy by him. With these words, thank you very much.